Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Very good afternoon. The breakout sessions are on. You can continue till 4 o'clock. Any doubts, you can reach out. There will be a button called help. So any of us who's in the session, me, Nikhil sir, Swati ma'am or Sanjana will be in touch with you. If you want any help, you can reach out, okay?
Hello, ma'am.
Till 4 o'clock. After that, we'll go for a break and come back, and we are left with the connect of day 1 and day 2, right? After the break, we'll be playing around with connect.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all. Please utilize it. Don't waste time, okay?
Hello.
Yes,
Ma'am, Chetan is here.
yes.
Ma'am, I have done that overloading program, but I have some questions.
Okay.
So, can I share my screen?
Yes, please. Those who don't have doubt, you can join the breakout session and practice or discuss with one another. Yes, what's the doubt?
Hello.
Yes, Chetan, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, here I use constructor and pass the arguments. So that also works fine. And I use getter and setter method. I commented here that methods, but that also works fine. So why there is need to use both the things?
See, constructor, it is preferred when you're not using the private. Rest of the thing, getter and setter, when you declare as a private, you can use that. There are the two situations.
But ma'am, here is also I use private variables, but with the help of constructor, we can able to initialize.
Yes. But can you do the same thing outside the class?
No, ma'am, not outside the class.
Yeah,
No,
that is
but ma'am, here I use that things outside the class.
no. Which, okay. X coordinate, are you trying to access that? Double
Which one?
x2 is a local variable, right? The instance variable.
Yes, ma'am.
Please repeat your question. What was your question about?
Ma'am, why to use constructor and getter and setter methods with together? Means we can initialize the private variables also in constructor, and we can initialize with the help of getter and setter method. So see here, I use getter and setter and constructor both, but right now I'm commented the getter and setter and just using the constructor for initialize the private variables. Then also the program is working fine.
Yes. One class is your point and other class is a tester, right?
Yes, this is the tester class includes main method, and this is the point class.
What about inheritance? Is there the same relationship between these three, or just the two methods, whatever you have opened?
Yes, ma'am. There's the two methods as per the instruction which is given in the exercise. There is no use of inheritance.
Okay, so now try to access your x coordinate within the tester class without using the getter setter.
Yeah, no, ma'am. It can't be accessed because it is private. No?
Yeah, it cannot be accessed, right? It is always preferable if that is the concept of your data hiding.
Yes, ma'am. But here we are initializing in the public method, so that method can be accessible in other class.
Yeah, it is like indirectly I am providing access to you. Directly, am I providing?
No, ma'am. Directly not.
Directly, I'll be not able to use the parameters that is used as private. So
Yes.
before this example, whatever we have seen is directly using, it was not declared as private, so hence it will be default. So directly I can play around with that.
Yes, ma'am.
So in
But,
order
but
to avoid that, we are using this private or the hiding concept.
yes, ma'am. But in this particular example, we can access indirectly
Yes,
within
indirectly it
the
is
public
possible.
method.
Yes, that
Yes,
could be
but
done.
then, ma'am, why they mention to use this public constructor as well as getter and setter, these public methods? Because in this particular code, I have I have passed the arguments in a constructor as 3.5, 1.5, 6, and 4 in the left
Yes.
side, okay, and
Yes.
in below that set method is there. There also I have passed the same things. So if I remove that comments, then also it is showing same output.
The different way of how do we program, so whether you guys are aware of it, that is the first one.
Yes, ma'am. So I guess they are just means the aim of
They are
giving this
confusing, man.
question.
Yours. They are
Yes, ma'am.
confusing you.
Yes, okay. Means the
Okay.
aim is to apply both the things.
Apply, yeah, you can handle in different situations.
Yes,
Like for example, you have a parent constructor, child constructor. Just to know whether you guys have understood things, we'll be creating an object to the child class, and in other words, it will be calling the parent class also, right? Constructor.
right, ma'am.
So just like that, there will be a twist.
Yes.
As someone specified, just to
Ma'am,
create confusion, whether you guys are aware of the different way of implementing it, there will be a slight twist. So
yes.
implement how they are asked.
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, this same code I have pasted in that exercise without using getter and setter. Then the output will be output is fine, but they mentioned as that the particular cases are not achieved. So getter and setter was not there. So I again included getter and setter with and also included constructor. Then the answer is fine. So means
Exactly. So
they
what
want to
happens
use
is,
both the things.
see, in question paper, how they have formed is there will be something like a test cases. If you are using getter and setter, or this, you said that was a confusion, right? I can implement the same thing using constructor as well as your getter and setter.
Yes.
So whenever you give submit, it will cross check for the test cases
Yes.
whether the code you have entered is right. Accordingly, whatever you faced just now, right? One was accepting and other it was not accepting.
Yes.
So you should be aware of all different ways in which you can implement it. If
Yes.
this is not working, you will try the other means.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In end of the day, you have to you are trying to complete that program. Once you run and compile and run it, you'll come to know how many code snippet is right.
Yes, ma'am. My complete break time I have spent it in this particular case only.
Very good, Chetan. So you got a clarity, at least like a basic hands-on paper. You have attended
Yes,
something
ma'am.
like that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This will be really helpful for you. Others, please try implementing the same. This will be really
I am
helpful.
also done with this question, ma'am. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please. Thank you, Chetan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Others, you can make utilization of the breakout session. The attendance status, you have to check with your batch owner, guys. She is on leave probably today. She'll respond shortly. So you have used both as well? Getter, setter, and tried?
No, ma'am. Only getter setter only.
Okay. Good. Other class?
No, madam. I am implementing only one.
Okay,
class.
one class only you have done. That is
Yes.
also fine. Okay.
Actually, in this question, they are mentioned only one class.
Yeah, exactly.
So
True.
that's why I am implementing this one.
Okay,
Well done.
fine. Thank you. Good one. Kindly try to complete other exercise as well.
Sure, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am,
Yes.
I have one doubt, ma'am.
Yes. Ask.
Can I share my screen, ma'am?
Yes. Yes. You can share your screen.
Ma'am, I try to practice inheritance model, ma'am. So I have one doubt. I type one program, ma'am, regarding bank details, but I shows some errors, ma'am.
Deposit D1 equals to new deposit. Go to your deposit class.
My deposit class, ma'am.
Yeah. Go to that which is that class. Both are in a single package. Click on the
It's coming, ma'am.
This is your static method, na? Public static void main. Write down.
Which static, ma'am?
Yeah. This is your main method, na? Create. Deposit. Go to the bank class, bank file.
Swati ma'am, may I?
Yes.
Ma'am, he has not closed the closing curly bracket of the class bank. After line number 9, I think we have to close
You
that.
not close that bank class. One more curly bracket is required. Remove the 19th line bracket. Now go to that. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Done, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ కదా, సో పారామీటర్స్ ఇక్కడ ఇవ్వాలి. సో ఫస్ట్ నెక్స్ట్ సపోజ్ కండిషన్ చెక్ చేసి
Any doubt, James? You can take break till 4:30. Please be on time. We'll play Connect for the day.
Okay, good evening, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's play a game of Connect. We have day 1 Connect and day 2 Connect. So I'll be sharing the link. Just give me a second. I'll be sharing my screen as well. Let me know when my screen is visible.
Yes, visible, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So I want maximum of you to join. So what is your batch strength? Anyone of
Participants, ma'am.
how many?
176.
176. Okay, so let's see how many of you will actually join.
187.
I have shared the link once again, guys. So please make sure you're joining. And let me tell you one more thing, that your batch owner will get the data of whoever are joining the connect. Okay. If at all you're not able to join the connect because of any network issues, you can do one thing is you can see my screen, right? So privately you can send your answers in the chat box. Make sure you're sending it privately and not to everyone. Okay, so guys, I have stopped the timer and 130 of you have joined. So we'll wait for a few more minutes and we'll start around 4:34 maybe. Okay.
Ma'am, please share link.
Oh, yes, I've shared the link once again. Okay, guys, so we will start with the connect. Make sure you do read the question properly.
Ma'am, can you wait for a few more minutes?
Okay. This link is again not open. Okay, we actually started. You can see my screen, right? You can answer privately in the chat box. But you can still join. I'll paste the link once again. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so most of you have answered correctly. So which of these can be declared static? So you have read about static on day 1 of programming part 2, right? So you know that static can be declared for a block, for a method and variable as well. So the correct option is D, that is all of the above, all of the options. Okay, so we have Chetan in the first position, followed by Hemant, Monica, Amar, and Hema. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so 68 of you have answered correctly. So what have they told? Static blocks are executed after the constructors of a class when an object is created. So it is false, right? When in your code, if you have constructed and if you have static blocks, so what happens? Static blocks get executed first and then comes the constructors. So B is the correct answer. That's false. And for everyone answering in the chat box as well, very good. But do answer privately. Okay, don't post the answers for everyone. So we have Shridhan in the first position, followed by Hema, Gopagani, Monica, and Jagdish. So we'll move on to the next question then. I hope this question is clear. Guys, I hope this question is clear, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll move on then. Okay, so most of you have answered correctly. So the static keyword implies that a variable or method in a class is of which level? So when it is static keyword, it's always in the class level. So the correct option is A. We again have Sridhar in the first position, followed by Hema, Monica, Jagdish, and Mohammed. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 36 of you have answered correctly. So let's see. So what is it given? Value 1 is initialized as static, right? And what happens no matter what the value you're giving with the object? If you're saying object 1.val1 is 10 or object 2.val2 is 20, no matter what value you give, if here when you're giving, you're saying val1 is equal to 30, right? So what happens? Automatically the value of val1 is initialized as 30 because of the static keyword. So the correct answer will be value 1 is equal to 30 and value 1 is equal to 30. Is it fine, guys? Is this clear?
Can you please repeat?
Okay. So what happens over here is you can see static, right? So int val1 is static. So no matter what values you give over here, if you're giving object1.val110 or object2.val120, you are initializing val1 to be 30 in this particular line. So what is static? Once you're initialized, it is the same value, right? So what happens when you're printing the value over here? The value of val1 is 30. So you get val1 is equal to 30 for the first print statement, and again val1 is equal to 30 for the second print statement. Is it clear now, guys? Okay, so you all can interact. It's totally fine. You can, this is much more better. So we have Shri Varun in the first position, followed by Shivam, Yashvi, Rahul, and Priyanka. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, you want me to share the key again? I'll share the link. So there's a key there itself. It's 358829. So let's move on then. Okay, so 95 of you have answered correctly. So what is it saying? Static variables are reinitialized to their given or default value every time an object is created. So static variables are never reinitialized, right? The value once given remains the same throughout. So the correct option is false. So I hope that is clear. I don't need to explain more, right? That much is fine. Okay, so we again have Shri Varun in the first position, followed by Shivam, Yashvi, Raghul, and Priyanka. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 106 of you have answered correctly. So it's saying that static block can access non-static methods, right? So it is false. Static blocks can not access non-static, whereas non-static will be able to access the statics, right? If a static block tried to access the non-static, what happens? It won't be able to know which one to access for sure. That is why it's not possible to access the non-static methods. Okay, so I hope this question is fine. Okay, I can see thumbs up. So we again have Shri Varun in the first position, followed by Yashvi, Raghul, Priyanka, and Ravali. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 15 of you have answered correctly. So the correct option is only 2. So what is the first? They're saying choose the correct option with respect to the following statement. So static variables are accessible only in static methods. It is not true, right? The second statement is static methods can access static variables directly. That is a correct statement. Then the third option is it is mandatory to access static variable using class name even within the class. That is false. So the only correct statement out of the three is the second statement, which states that static methods can access the static variables directly. Okay. So we have Rahul in the first position, followed by Shri Varun, Yashvi, Priyanka, and Ravali. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 59 of you have answered correctly. So which of the following is incorrect? So the main method is a static method. It is a correct statement, right? Main method indicates the starting point of execution. So your code starts executing from the main method. So option B is also correct. Main method cannot have a return type. That is why we mentioned public static void main, right? It won't have a return statement. So it is correct. And the last is that main method is an instance method. So that is the incorrect statement out of the four. So option D is the correct answer. I hope that's clear, guys. So we have Ragul now in the first position, followed by Yashvi, Priyanka, Gopagani, and Gurichala. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 120 of you have answered correctly. So it's asking that there are two classes, that is page and book, and which best describes their relationship. So can you say that a page has a book? It's not possible, right? And can you say page is a type of a book? Even that's not true. Or page uses book. Even that's not correct. So the only option you can say is that book has a page. So can you tell me which type of relationship is this, guys?
Aggregation.
Yes, it's aggregation. So you can say that book has a page. It is the correct statement. Okay. So we have Raghul in the first position, followed by Yashvi, Priyanka. Yes.
Aggregation or association?
It's aggregation. Okay. Then we have Gopagani and Gurichala. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 94 of you have answered correctly. So it is saying that aggregation relationship represents stronger dependency when compared to association. So when you're comparing the aggregation relationship and the association, aggregation has a stronger dependency with the classes, right? So it is true. Okay, we have Yashvi now in the first position, followed by Raghul, Gopagani, Priyanka, and Jagdish. So then we'll
Can
move
you
on to the next.
explain this once?
There's nothing much to explain actually. When it comes to aggregation and association, it's asking which has a stronger dependency between the two classes. Okay, so the has a relationship, that is aggregation, will have a stronger dependency compared to the association relationship.
Okay. In association, we can see independence.
It's not like independent. Kind of. It has a lesser dependency compared to aggregation.
Okay, got it.
Oh, so let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 34 of you have answered correctly. So it's asking which of the classes are loaded in the following code. So what happens, you know that the first step of execution is from the void main. So you will have the tester class. Okay, so did you guys lose access to connect?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, try refreshing once. Okay, so about the question, so what happens? They are asking which classes are loaded in the following code. So because of the starting point of execution, tester class. Yes, it will continue with the next question. So tester class is the first one to execute, right? That leaves you with two options, that is A and C. Then what happens? A object is created for class A, right? So class A will be loaded second. So is this much clear, guys? Tester class and class A. Yes. Now what happens in this particular statement? An object is not created. Okay, because it says class B object is equal to null. An object is not created in this line. Okay, you want the key. I will paste the link itself.
Ma'am, it's behind the question in the right side. We can see that.
Okay, it's over here. Thank you. So what happens? This particular line, an object is not created, so class B is not loaded. Then next comes the print statement. So what happens over here? Class C dot val3 is printed. That is why class C will be loaded. Is this much clear, guys? So the very first is class tester. Tell me. Yes. So you know that main method is the start point, right? So what happens? The very first class that will get loaded is class tester. That leaves you with two options, that is option A and option C. After main method, what happens? You're creating an object for class A. So class A is loaded. So is this much clear? Tester and class A. Now what happens in the next line? You can see class B object is equal to null, which means that an object is not created over here. So B class, the class B is not loaded. Okay. Next comes the print statement, wherein class C dot val3. So class C is loaded. So the very first is the tester class, followed by class A. Here class B won't be loaded because an object is not created. And last is the print statement, because of which class C is loaded. Is this much fine now, guys? I hope it's clear. Okay. So we have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Jagdish, Sandesh, Monica, and Yashvi. Yes, Shri Vidya, all of you once try reloading. When I press next question, you will be able to play again. Okay. So let's move on then. Shri Vidya, are you not able to load it? I will paste the link once again. You can try. Okay, so 45 of you have answered correctly. So they have given you two scenarios, right? The very first one is where Mr. Jones is a customer who wants to purchase a laptop that is added in his shopping cart at an online mart. And the second scenario is that he makes use of his credit card to make a payment to purchase the desired laptop. So they are asking which choose the appropriate relationship for the following scenarios. So if you consider the first scenario, you can say that Mr. Jones, who is a customer, he has a shopping cart. Right? You cannot say that shopping cart has. So very first option, that is customer has a shopping cart, is the correct one. And then considering the second scenario, you can see it says he makes use of credit card to make a payment. So out of 3 and 4, you can say that 3 is the best option given. Right? Customer uses a credit card to make payment. You cannot say customer has a credit card to make payment. Right? So the correct option is 1 and 3. I hope this much is clear. Okay. Aditya, why option 4 is not correct is when it comes has a, what are you doing? You are in the customer class, you will have to add the credit card details, right? You will give the credit card class, what to say? You will add the credit card, right? You know the aggregation steps, right? So you don't
Yes.
need to, you don't need to aggregate credit card with the customer. You can just say it he uses. Okay. So 1
Oh,
and 3 are the better options.
okay.
Okay. Dheeraj, if you're not able to join, please try refreshing once again. Again, if you're not able, you can just see the screen and then drop your answers in the chat box privately. So we have Sandesh in the first position, followed by Gopagani, Monica, Jagdish, and Yashvi. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so it is saying that in association, the interaction between classes happen only with the attributes. So the correct answer is false. That is B. Yes, most of you have answered correctly, and even in the chat box. Not over here, but in the chat box. So we have Sandesh in the first position, followed by Monica, Jagdish, Chirla, and Gopagani. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 82 of you have answered correctly. So if it is saying that, it's saying if class A and class B are two distinct classes, then syntactically both the below relationship can be realized together. So you can say class A has class B. You can say class A uses class B as well. Okay, so the correct option is true. So we have Sandesh in the first position, followed by Jagdish and Monica. So congratulations to the winners. Let me take a screenshot of this. Okay, so this was day one connect. I hope you all recalled the concepts that was done in day one. Okay, so then let's play day two or yes.
Ma'am, can we see one question in this quiz of where there were three statements regarding static variables and class?
Which question was that?
I think fifth or seventh.
Okay, just a second. Give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Ambika, I'm not talking. Just a second, I'll share my screen. Okay. Was this the question that you were talking about? Choose the
Yes,
correct
ma'am.
option. Yes. So what is it saying? It is telling you to choose the correct option. So the very first statement says that static variables are accessible only in static methods. It is not true, right? You can access static variables in non-static methods as well. So the very first statement is false. Now, what is the second statement saying? Second statement is saying that static methods can access static variables directly. It is true. And the very third option is it is mandatory to access static members using class name even within the class. So that is false. It is not necessary that you access static members using class name. Okay, so the only option is option 2, which says that static methods can access static variables directly. It is asking for the correct option.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So, guys, shall we continue with the day 2 then?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, I see lot of excitement. So let's start then. No, Shubham, it's not the same key. Just a second. Yes, I have pasted the link.
Option B.
Okay, guys, just a second. Something went wrong. Yes, connection lost. Yes, there is some issue with Lex. Just give me 2 minutes, guys. Okay, you can join this link now. Okay.
Ma'am, it shows that no contest available.
Try joining the latest link, not the old one. I pasted a link just now. Try joining this. Take a look at the key. It is 385813. Okay. Okay, so Sagar is asking where can we get such questions for practice of MCQ? Your batch owner will actually send you the offline connect questions as well. I will inform once. Okay, so that time you will be able to practice. Shri Vidya, if it is saying connecting you back to the game, once I start the connect, you will be able to play. Okay, and make sure you have joined to the latest link. I'll paste it once again. So guys, there are 152 members. Do we start or do you want me to wait for a few more minutes? Okay, Navin will wait for 2 minutes. Okay, we'll wait. There are a few of you who are saying wait. Okay, we will start then. It's 5-8, so we'll start. Okay, so 113 of you have answered correctly. So it's asking in OOP, new classes can be defined by extending the existing classes. So you have a hint over here itself. So which is the correct option? It is inheritance. Right? You can define a new class with extending the already existing class, that is the parent class. So we have Hemant in the first position now, followed by Jayaraman, Sandesh, Saurabh, and Chetan. Navin, if you're not able to connect, if you can view the screen, you can drop your answers in the chat box as well privately. But if you want to connect, you can try once again. I'll paste the link. So I hope this question is clear, guys. Let's move on to
Ma'am, tell me the concept key, ma'am.
contest key. It is 385813.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Shri Vidya, the link will work. It will open. Okay. So let's move on to the next question then.
Ma'am, link is not opening.
Try entering the the contest key, then link will open.
Ma'am, I will try by. Ma'am, I had tried 5 times, then also not opening.
Okay, there might be some issue with the leg, so you can do one thing. You can see the screen. You can go through the question and drop your answers in the chat box. Okay. So 98 of you have answered correctly. And it's asking the order of execution of the constructors in Java inheritance. So the order of execution will always be from the base class to the derived class. That is from the parent class to the child class. Okay, so option A is the correct answer. I hope that's fine. Yes. So we have Aboli in the first position, followed by Yashvi, Amrita, Jayaraman, and Hema. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, Shubham, connection lost. Try refreshing your browser once. Okay, so it's telling that parameterized constructor of parent will be called implicitly in parameterized constructor of child. So it is false. Okay, the constructor parameterized constructor will not be called into the constructor of a child. Okay, so the correct option is B, false. So we have Jayaraman in the first position, followed by Gopagani, Abhishek Kumar, Priyanka, and Amar. So let's move on to the next question then, guys. Okay, so 23 of you have answered correctly. So what is it asking? It is asking you to identify the false statements. It is not asking you to identify the true statements. Okay, so the very first statement is that in Java, a subclass inheriting from more than one class is not supported. It is true. Okay, and the second option is many subclasses can inherit from a parent class. Even that is true. Okay, so the third option is that a subclass inherits all the instance variable and method of its superclass. So even the third statement is true. Now it says that access the private attributes of the parent class directly. Now option D is false. Okay, so the private attributes can be accessed only within a class, right? So a child class will not be able to access the private attributes of the parent class.
Yes, it should be protected.
Yes. Okay.
Option B is many subclasses can inherit from the parent class. It will be a multiple inheritance. It is not supported in Java.
I didn't get you. Let's say for option B, so let's say you have a class, a parent class called as vehicle. Okay, so that class, you can have many more subclasses to that, right? You can have a car, you can have a scooter, you can have a bike. So you can have many subclasses that can inherit from a parent class. It is correct. Okay. So okay. Your voice is breaking actually, but okay. So they are asking only for the false statement. So the only false statement over here is option D, wherein it is saying that a child class will be able to access the private attributes. It is not true. Right? Private attributes is accessible only within the class. So the correct option is C. That is only D is correct. So I hope it's clear, guys. Okay. So we have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Jayaraman, Prabhat, Nilesh, and Amrita. So let's move on to the next question then. So 45 of you have answered correctly. So it's asking what restriction is there on using the super reference in a constructor. So the correct option is that it must be the first statement in the constructor. So when there is a super reference in a constructor, what happens is that that constructor will be called first. Okay. So if you're adding the super reference, then it should be the first statement that is present in the constructor. Okay, so option C will be the correct answer.
Please wait.
Okay, so it's asking what is the restrictions that is there when using the super reference in a constructor. So if you have a constructor and if you're using the super reference, then the super reference should be the first statement in the constructor. So what happens if there is a super reference, then that constructor will be called in first. Okay, I hope that is clear.
Yes.
Okay. So we have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Jayaraman, Anumolu, Rushikesh, and Prabhat. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 122 of you have answered correctly. So it's a simple true or false statement which says that polymorphism simplifies the code maintenance. Right, so it is true. A is the correct option. So we have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Jayaraman, Anumolu, Rushikesh, and Prabhat. So let's move on to the next question then. And for those answering in the chat box as well, it's correct, but please answer privately and not to everyone. So let's move on. Okay, so 116 have answered correctly. So again, it's a true or false statement. So it says that polymorphism refers to the ability of two or more objects belonging to different class to respond to the same message in different class specific ways. So it is true. So answer option A is the correct answer. So we again have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Jayaraman, Anumolu, Prabhat, and Priyanka. Then
Can you explain once I didn't get?
It's a very simple true or false statement. It is just saying that polymorphism refers to the ability of two or more objects which belongs to two different classes but will respond to the same message. Okay, you people learnt about polymorphism concept today, right? So I hope, yes, so I hope this is fine. Guys, do this. Okay. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 85 of you have answered correctly. So it is saying which of the below concept performs the same operation that may apply to two or more classes. Okay, it is talking about same operation. So it is polymorphism. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. We have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Jayaraman, Anumolu, Priyanka, and Nilesh. Let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so it is asking which of the below are overloaded methods. So there are three main criteria when it comes to overloading. So either you should have a different data type, or you should have different parameters, or you should the parameters should be arranged differently. So in the very first option, if you see, the parameters have a different data type, right? You can see float and int. Whereas in the other two option, the number of parameters are same and the data type are also same. Okay, so the correct option is option C, that is only one. Is this fine, guys? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I hope this is clear. The main thing is it has different data type. Okay. So we have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Anumolu, Abhishek, Mohammad Zaki, and Naveen. Let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so 86 of you have answered correctly. So it's asking, it's a true or false statements. Are the below methods properly overloaded? Okay, so the below methods are not properly overloaded because you have a static method. Right? So is this fine, guys? Okay. So if you guys respond, I will get to know if I should explain again or if you are clear with the concept. So we have Gopagani in the first position, followed by Anumolu, Muhammad Zaki, Naveen, and Abhishek. Okay, then let's move on to the next question. Okay, so what is it saying? It is saying that, just a second. Okay, so it is saying state true or false. Static methods can be overridden. Okay, it is false. Static methods cannot be overridden. Okay, so we have Anumolu in the first position, followed by Gopagani, Naveen, Muhammad Zaki, and Jayaraman. Let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so it is saying select an incorrect option. So what is it saying? Override all the methods of its parent class. It is not necessary that the derived class or the child class should override all the methods. Okay, it can override only the methods which is necessary. So because it is saying to choose the incorrect option, the incorrect option will be option C. So is this fine, guys? Is this clear? Okay, I want more reactions. Okay. So we have Anumolu in the first position, followed by Gopagani and Omkar. Congratulations to the winners. I will stop sharing. Okay, so I hope you all got to learn something from today's Connect quiz. I hope it was helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. And I hope you understood, like when I was explaining, I hope you understood the concept also a little bit.
Ma'am.
All clear, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. So 28, let's wait for a few more minutes and then let us end the meeting for today. Okay, I see a lot of reactions. So congratulations again to the day 1 and day 2 connect from my side as well. We will play day 3 tomorrow. Okay, once all your concepts are done, we will have the connect around 4:30 or after that, like we had today, or maybe around 5. Yes, James. Huh. Is there any other? Any other quiz? Like, yes, as I told you, you can access the offline quiz. So I'll inform your batch owner once. Okay. Okay. Lex platform. Yes, you will be able to access in the Lex platform only. So I'll inform your batch owner to let you know about the offline connect quizzes as well. Okay. Yes, Arvind, what is your doubt?
Ma'am?
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, today we have received a Outlook mail regarding VMware client.
Okay.
To install it. Should we install it on our personal laptop also?
About VMware?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In that mail, it is written on Infosys laptop only.
Infosys laptop. You will have to do it on your Infosys laptop and not on personal.
But ma'am, we haven't got our laptop.
Okay, so you will get it soon, not an issue. Okay, so once you get the laptop, you can install, but let me once confirm it with your batch owner as well. How about I tell you tomorrow what to be done? Okay, tomorrow morning I'll inform you. Yes, not an issue. Arvind, you're saying it was not, your attendance was not approved. So, guys, when you apply attendance to your batch owner, right? So give them 2 or 3 days time to approve your attendance because there are a lot in a batch. So even your batch owner will have some other work. So give them a few days time. Okay. So don't worry if it is not getting approved. They will approve it at one point. Okay. Okay, guys. So you can leave for today. It's done. It's 5:31.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
So have okay, Ashish. So have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.